super excited to be here with you. Happy November. Happy Monday. Happy November. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dani Kenney. I'm a certified life and business coach committed to helping heart-centered entrepreneurs, heart-centered female entrepreneurs master their mindset and their energy so that they can make more money, make a bigger impact in the world, and create not only a business, but also a life that they're wildly obsessed with. And if you know me well, which many of my people do, in fact, my 6-month coaching program is called Magnetic Business Academy, and one of our MBA grads, she graduated like 2 or 3 months ago, she sent me a voice note this morning, and she said, Dani, happy first of the month. I will forever think of you on the first of the month. And not only is it the first, but it is a Monday. So I know that you are so happy. And she was really right about this. She was so right. Today has been an amazing day. In fact, this is my third live of the day. I love Mondays. I love showing up and giving value to my clients, to my community, to my social media fam. Hello, Melanie. At the start of the week. I think it's so incredibly powerful. So we went live today like we do every Monday at 9 a.m. inside of Magnetic Business Academy. And then those of you who have been in my world for a little while know that I've been talking about Magnetic AF, the 4-week experience. And so we did our live in there as well. And we've been talking about goal setting. Not only is it the start of a brand new week and technically the start of a brand new program for many incredible women inside of my world, but it's the start of a new month. And there are certain things, hello and happy November, Doreen. There are certain things that I do at the start of every week and absolutely at the start of every month inside of my own life and my own business. And those things are really powerful. And I think that it is a big part of why I've been able to create the life and the business that I've created. And I love to share the things that I do, the things that I swear by with you. And so the title of this video today, if you're able to see it wherever it is not your typical goal setting conversation. And this is going to be relatively quick, but it feels really powerful. So first and foremost, I want to know, like very, very honestly, have you ever struggled with goal setting? I have struggled with goal setting for a really long time. And there used to be all kinds of weird feelings to admitting that because of what I do for work. Just if you guys aren't familiar with this, when you go to life coaching school, when you get certified as almost any kind of a coach, and how do I know this? Because I have been through many different coaching certifications and they've all been amazing. I have lots of incredible skills and tools under my belt. But day one is helping people set goals. And so I used to have a really hard time admitting that I struggled with this, that I personally, Dani Kenney, had a love-hate relationship with goal setting. And the more I started to have courage to admit this as a coach, the more I started seeing other women, other incredible, wildly successful people in my life, in my business, colleagues, and even total strangers. When I share stuff like this on social media, they would raise their hand and say, I've always struggled with goal setting too. I don't like it. I'm confused by it. It's difficult for me. So I'm gonna just really quickly, and we've got a heck yes here. I'm like peeking around because we're going on a couple different cameras. So I'm gonna share really quickly why this was difficult for me. And I have a feeling you'll be able to relate to this. And if other things are coming up for you, please feel free to share that in the comments of wherever you happen to be watching this. So first of all, for me, I don't typically call myself a perfectionist, but I think like a lot of really ambitious, driven women, there's a little bit of that perfectionism tendency there. And so there was this deep fear of what if I set the goal and I don't reach it? Like that fear was real. That perfectionism, always being somebody for as long as I can remember, even as a little girl who had really high expectations of herself, who would put so much pressure, like an insane and a totally unnecessary amount of pressure on herself, goals used to feel more suffocating for me than helpful. However, I see the value. I know that it's really hard to make decisions, to take action, even to have a vision of where it is that we want to go if we don't actually know where we're going. And that's one of the reasons that goals are so helpful. And so over the years of trying this different ways, being trained in this different ways, taking the techniques and the tools that I was trained in, and then tweaking them for myself and for my clients, I'm going to share two kind of very different perspectives that I use like day in, day out, week in, week out, and definitely as I'm doing my monthly planning and reflection. So the first one is, and this totally goes against like your standard SMART goals, right? There's this SMART goal acronym. If you're not familiar with that, we can talk about that later. But one of those is that they're realistic goals, right? That's the R in SMART goals, is that it's realistic. Now here's the thing. I, at this point in my life, have done so much work around this that I love setting every month and every year, like big, crazy, what I would call unrealistic goals. Like goals that stretch me a ton. Goals that, to be totally honest, the way that I set goals now, I typically don't reach my goal on my first try. And for the sake of today, because it happens to be November 1st, I'm thinking about monthly goals. So I was sharing this example earlier inside of all the different places I was going live, where when my business really early on was consistently making just like $1,000 or $2,000 a month. And I was like, I want that 5K month. I affirmed 5K months, 5K months, 5K months for many months. And then we finally had the 5K month. And then what was it? Then it was 10K months. And I think I affirmed and set that goal and like worked towards it and put a plan in place. And it took like 6 to 8 months before we even just had our first one. And then when consistent 10K months were the thing, we skipped over 15. We went straight to 20. And we were affirming 20K months and 20K months and 20K months for what felt like forever. And so the difference here is, I feel like in my own experience, and there's like a way to counterbalance the not reaching the big crazy goal. And what I have found is I love doing video because we can use our hands when we chat together. I have found that when I set that big crazy goal up here, if this is where I am, chances are that I am going to land somewhere right around here, month after month, right? Until I get to the goal. Versus setting a teeny tiny doable realistic goal and reaching that goal, right? Would you rather set a small goal and reach that goal, or create a very kind of big, crazy, scary, audacious, unrealistic goal and give yourself the spaciousness to land somewhere else, right? So that's one way that I love to look at this. I have now got to the point where I love to set goals that are gonna stretch me. I love to set goals that are gonna give me the opportunity to blow my own mind, right? To heck with being realistic about our dreams and about our desires. Now, here's the other thing. I talked about perfectionism and having super high standards and expectations and putting a lot of pressure on myself. So you might be thinking, well, Dani, I want to do that too, but if I consistently fall short of these crazy goals, I'm going to get discouraged. So here's how I balance this out. I set really crazy, I would go as far as saying totally unrealistic goals. And I'm gonna say this, I always end up hitting those goals. It might just take a little bit longer than what I initially give myself. If I set a really crazy goal for 1 month, it might take me 3, 4, 6 more months until I actually get there. But overall, my biggest goal, day in and day out, week in and week out, month after month, is to simply do better than I did last time. So my goal for this month is to do better than I did in October. It is also to do better than I did in November of 2020. So because of my previous job, I love to track annual trends year over year, month over month. And so as much as I love setting the goals that are going to stretch me, the one thing that I'm constantly shooting for and tracking and making sure is happening is there's that consistent needle moving forward. And so I love this. I, at this point, have been, and I've never shared this except like outside of today, this has been my goal setting process for the last few years, and it has been beautiful and it has been so fun, and it's given me the space and the capacity to show up and to completely surprise myself. So I wanted to share that with you today. If you're somebody who has a love-hate relationship or a not so great relationship with goal setting, give that a try this month. It's November 1st. Let me know what your goals are. I would love to support you. I would love to keep you accountable in getting to exactly where it is that you want to be 30 days from now. So I love you guys. I will see you soon. Mwah!